Let's focus.
What do you want a woman to depend on you for?
To provide.
Provide what?
Emotional support.
Emotional
protection.
Emotional. You say all women are stupid. Half the time you're talking about women are stupid. You don't respect them. How the can we depend on you for anything emotional? Tell me.
Do you want me to answer the question?
Go.
Or do you want to argue?
Go.
Because this is one of the problems
Go.
of independent woman.
Tell me.
Woman wants to
Tell me.
spew her trauma out on the table and expect somebody to
let him go.
Go ahead.
You help a woman get through life. A woman needs a man to help lead her.
Give me an example of how you would help me get through life.
There you go.
By listening to you.
Whoa.
You know what?
Myself, bro. That's me out.
You gotta get your talking points right, man. So many times you're in this conversation with these ladies and they end up getting you because of stuff like that. You know what I mean? What do men do for women to depend on them? And if you don't have an answer, it's better to say you don't have an answer or to go back to the drawing board. You know, I think it's best not to speak on things that you don't have knowledge of, that you're not, you know, not an expert on, but that you don't have some exposure to. And I think a lot of times people get caught up and get put into a trick bag because they don't really intellectually know their angle on things. They don't know what their belief system is or how they feel strongly about it, you know. Of course, there's a bunch of people that, you know, are hypocrites. They don't know anything either, but they act like they do.
You guys are like crazy for not even wanting to reciprocate off rip. Like, how does somebody consistently do something for you and that doesn't register? Like, yo, you know what? Let me just do something nice for her.
But sometimes you gotta look at it like sometimes some men don't know how to receive it.
No funny shit comes with like even doing better in life. When you start doing better in life, you want to do certain shit. A lot of niggas don't really even be in a position to even want to do that. Think about doing that shit. They just thinking about, all right, I just gotta make sure she good, and as long as she good, she should be straight. Yeah. You know I'm here with you. You know how we rocking. But that shit ain't right.
I'm just saying, don't get too serious with one guy so young. We be ready to be married by 21, 23. We ready.
It should be.
But men are not, and men are not taught to be married by 21, 25. They taught to be married older.
Yes.
So it's not, that's what I'm saying. We got to fix it earlier though.
Like, you're saying that as a woman we should settle down at 25 or 23, and then but the men that we should settle down with should be what, 35, 36. So we have to now the men that we're settling with are going to be like kind of ramped through.
They're not even settled down by 36.
They're not. Let's talk about 40 and up. Yeah, they're barely settled down at 36. So what, as a woman, so I should deal with his arthritis.
You gotta get
my life together. I'm still fine. When I'm young, I should still have my man to be young and fine too.
You go to the gym.
Men age like wine typically, and women age like milk. Let's just keep it a buck on this show.
Except for like
a buck on this show. So when it comes to women, most men they prefer younger women. They don't prefer older women. Most women prefer older men. That's just
no, we don't.
Yeah, they say they don't, but all the things that they want are actually they're actually being asked to get from a younger man that doesn't have those resources. Of course, if they want the resources that they want, they're going to have to get somebody older. Of course, because they don't understand. They don't understand why they're not getting what they want. When they're not getting what they want to make excuses for what it is. But, you know, it's funny how these women say the same thing, but I know men in their 40s and 50s and sometimes even 60s that are dealing with women these exact same ages. And there's no problems, there's no questions, because they're there for what? For the resources or for the lifestyle. It's simple as that. Men in general peak at later ages. So when you're going out and you're asking a 25-year-old to be equally yoked with you, when you're asking them to have as much money as you, and you got your master's degree and some more stuff, not everybody's going to be on that level. And then you're talking about the attractiveness things. I think the attractiveness is what gets a lot of our women in trouble, because they want a man that looks a certain way, but they're not really thinking about what comes with that. If he's already got a bunch of options, or if in fact that he hasn't matured to his potential, but you're focused on that. So a lot of times you end up picking wrong because of that. See, the thing is, like, this age gap dating is not a new thing. This goes back to ancient times. This goes back to royalty. You know, like, think about it. Think about it. And it is true, you know, these women are going to circle back around in their 30s and 40s, and they're going to be looking and asking why people aren't taking, they aren't getting as much attention, and people aren't taking the opportunity to take them and make them a wife after they've used up all their 20s being city girls and hot girls. And, you know, like, so that ends up being the issue, and that ends up being one of the most sad things to see, because it's like you're playing roulette or you're playing dice game. You keep rolling until you can't roll anymore because you crapped out. You got you raided the bank. The bank is empty right now, and I don't think a lot of women see it that way. They think they're going to be in their 20s forever. In fact, some of them think they're in their 20s when they're in their 50s or 40s, and that kind of is a problem, you know. I'm just saying it to address the issue of a lot of single women. You know, like, it's not malicious. This is just an observation. And I think if they understand that, they can move in a different way. They can move in a better way, be more productive in getting what it is exactly that they want.
Black women are the most homophobic people ever in our community. Black women are more homophobic than it is. Y'all call heterosexual men gay for everything that they do that they don't include women in.
Yep.
Can't have fun, can't talk on the phone, can't hold an umbrella, can't do shit. As soon as you exclude women from the fucking equation, they automatically gay.
They walk in, they get tickets together.
It's a bro date.
Can they share popcorn?
Share popcorn, you broke bitch. Get your own popcorn. That's not gay, that's poor.
Hold on, wait, all right. Because now you got me.
It seems that something's been messed up in the community. Like, there's a lot of projection, I believe, that goes on. Because, you know, as much as they talk about black men being gay for the simplest things, or not being masculine for the simplest things, because that's what they really mean. Because, you know, I've seen some really masculine gay men that exist out here in this world, you know what I'm saying? But then, you know, it comes down to the respect level. It comes down to what they feel like they can say because it's acceptable in their community, you know? It's acceptable as a straight woman to say these things about men that, you know, he might not like you the way you think he should. And then it becomes a question of his sexuality and why he is like that. But, you know, the reason I say it's projection is because a lot of these women are participating in homosexual acts. Let's just say that. On the low, on the tip. Because you remember in the 90s where there was a whole down low, 90s, early 2000s, was a whole down low thing. How many women are actually on the down low by the definition that they've given? So I think it's funny that a lot of that stuff gets pushed onto the men. Of course, there are men that are participating in that activity, but I would say those men are actually gay and just haven't come to the terms of, you know, being public with it. But, you know, like, it's the same thing when you see a guy that's fixated on that type of lifestyle. That's all he talks about. He's very loud about it. It's because he's projecting something that he is insecure of in himself. So yeah, same thing goes for women. And men can't have anything, by the way. We can't have anything. We can't have nice things. Can't be neat, as Jerry Seinfeld said. Anyway, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification for all uploads. This is Faucette Media.